It's the story of Ted and Arlene Tavaris. They are Built to Sell Radio episode 308, if you like to follow along with our podcast every week. And Ted and Arlene owned a company called ILSA, or Insurance Licensing Services of America, Inc., and they founded this in 1997. They built their company to around 70 employees. It was thriving to the point that they could happily give kind of those annual bonuses to their team at the end of every year. They felt like they had all the tools in place to continue to expand. So when their accountant approaches them in 2008 and says, perhaps you should be rethinking things like the bonuses and what you're putting out because we're about to head into a recession, they initially thought it wouldn't affect the insurance business. They share that it really started to hit them in 2009 and 2010. In fact, they lost 70% of their income, 70%. And when they tell this part of their story, you can hear that there's still a shock and disbelief looking back at that time. Now, a lot of their clients had merged, some had gone out of business, and they were just bleeding thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars every month. So they were forced to go from 70 employees to 30. They went a year without salary themselves. But then they shared that in their darkest financial times, they actually used their downtime to build value and focus on the growth of their company. They focused on things like cross-training, automating processes. Everybody got to learn everybody else's jobs. They had money huddles every single week. In fact, the thing that they share is that the most important thing that they could do is that they didn't sit around and panic. And all of those technology upgrades and value focus meant that they were ready. When everything was correcting, they'd be able to open their doors and the floodgates would come through. And they really reinforced themselves against any future issues. 10 years later, they grew to the point where they had a solid pipeline. They had automation in place, profits. And they share with us that they didn't even feel COVID. In fact, they say it was their best year yet. The final result, when they went to exit in 2021, they were approached with an offer of 12 times EBITDA. And they felt so strongly about their business that they said no and decided to go to market, ending up with multiple offers and ultimately selling their business for 16 times EBITDA. I share this because this is one story that can highlight a formula that I'm going to share with you today. It's called the hero's journey, and how you can help sell yourself, sell your services to any owner, regardless of perception.